Welcome to Slowhome Studio. Too many people live in badly designed houses, and we want to change that.
November is Living Room Month, and this is the third in our 4-set series, and we're going to be looking today at the slow home principles behind a good living room. So if we look at these, here are our 12 principles. You can look at those in our book or on our website. The 6th one is for living rooms, and it says that all indoor and outdoor living spaces in a slow home have good daylight, a natural focal point, and can accommodate a wide variety of uses without wasted space. Sounds simple.
Yep, sounds simple, but it's actually, you got to really think about it to achieve it. And we thought that we would demonstrate this month by looking at one of our recently completed projects. It's a renovation to a 1960s split-level house. Here's the living room space. Okay, so this is the living room and the dining room space.
And you actually saw the before picture in the first episode.
Yeah, and in the second episode, we talked about some common pitfalls of what not to do, and there's one of the biggest ones of all time is right there. And the owners added a 45-degree angle fireplace.
Not our owners,
not
the
our
previous
owners,
owners.
the previous homeowners.
We wouldn't work with anybody that did that.
Well, we have worked with people that have done that. We've just taken them out of the houses.
All right,
you know
you
what?
haven't told me that.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
exactly.
Okay.
So,
all right, fair enough.
So this is the 45-degree angle fireplace, and I mean, the logic of doing that is because you want to create a focal point, right? But unfortunately,
there's a logic to this.
Well, there was a logic to it, but they really, I mean, this is what I would call a carbuncle. It's in the middle of the plan. It really screws everything up because your dining room has to go here. Your living room furniture is really going to have to go back into the corner. The only thing that's going to happen in front of that is circulation. You're not really focusing on that fireplace. It's really, really awkward.
No, and if you do focus on it, then you're turning your back to the view. It's a nightmare. It was. I remember going into this house the first time, and it was really bad. So here's what we did, and you'll know from our first episode that we actually reversed the living room and the dining room, and we did that because we wanted to get the dining room or the living room over here in the corner so that we wouldn't have to have that kind of circulation. This sort of circulation works really well in a dining room space. Yep. Kitchen is pretty much in the same location. It's been reorganized, and we're not going to talk about that right now, although it would be interesting to see. And here you can see our focal point. Remember in the first episode I talked about scale. We wanted to do something that was big enough along this whole wall that you would notice it, and then we thought about where do we actually locate the physical fireplace. We wanted to put it in a place that was far enough down so that it was kind of centered on the overall composition. You don't want to have it too close up here because then you're too far away from that space there. If you had a television, however, you might actually want to move that fireplace down a little bit and get your television over in that space.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting point that you bring up with regards to scale, because if we actually look at the proportion of the living room space, if I'm just to sort of outline it here, it's something like that. And then the dining space here is actually a little bit smaller. Even though they're in the same sort of visual field, the dining room space, the end of it is really taken up by that little bit of circulation, which kind of ends into the living room space. So the living room will read as that entire space from the window wall all the way to the edge of the kitchen peninsula.
That's right, and let's have a look here. You can actually see that. You can see that we've got this circulation space in the center. You'll notice if you looked at the plan that it is in the dining room that we have the garden doors out, so that this is actually just a window so that we can put our furniture against it like that. And you can see that there's clear circulation through how that focal point works and how the furniture wraps around to create a kind of intimate sitting area for conversation, looking at the fireplace, that sort of thing.
So in our next episode, we're going to zoom into one more level of detail, and we're going to look at how we actually assembled the fireplace millwork unit.
See you next time.